Welcome to aminacademy.com. In human anatomy and physiology, let us discuss about sight and eye. The eye is an important and one of the most complex sensory organs that we humans are endowed with. It helps us in visualizing objects and also helps us to light perception, colors, and depth perception. Besides, these sense organs are pretty much similar to cameras and they help us to see objects when light coming from the outside into the eye. That being said, it is quite interesting to understand the structure and working of the human eye. It also helps us to understanding how the camera actually functions. Let's have a glance at the human eye, its structure and function. Further, the eye is the organ of sight. It is situated in the orbital cavity and supplied by the optic nerve. It is most spherical in shape and about 2.5 centimeter in diameter. The space between the eye and the orbital cavity is occupied by adipose tissue. The bony walls of the orbit and the fat protects the eye from injury. Structurally, the two eyes are separate, but unlike the ears, some of their activities are coordinated so that they normally functions as a pair. It's possibly to see with only one eye, monocular vision, but three-dimensional vision is impaired when only one eye is used, especially in relations to the judgment of speed and distance. Now let us discuss further detail about sight and eye. Look at here, this object, it enters, the rays enters, light rays enters to the people through the lens and it falls on retina, and from that retina it goes to brain nerves and identify. This is some parts of the eye here. Look at here. Sight is the sense that allows us to perceive visual information, and the eye is the sensory organs responsible for that sense. The eye works by capturing light, focusing it, and converting it into electrical signals that the brain intercepts as image. Light enters the eye. Light enters through the cornea, the clear front layer of the eye, which bends the light to help the eye focus. Pupil and iris. The light then passes through the pupil and opening in the iris, the colored part of the eye. The iris controls the amount of light enters the eye by adjusting the pupil's size. The iris relaxes in the bright light and the iris contracts in the dim light. The iris is the colored part of the eye surrounding the pupil, which is the black circle in the center. The iris controls the amount of light entering the eye by adjusting the size of the pupil. The iris contains muscles that contract or relax, making the pupils larger, dilate or smaller, constrict. Lenses. The light then passes through the lens, which further focuses the light into the retina. Look at this lens here. The eye lens, along with the cornea, focuses light onto the retina, enabling vision. The lens changes shape to adjust focus for object at different distances. The process called accommodation. The cornea provides about 70% of the focusing power, while the lens provides the remaining 30%. Retina and photoreceptors. The retina, a light sensitive layer at the back of the eye, contains the photoreceptor cells, rods and cones that converts the light into electrical signal. Photoreceptors are specialized cells in the retina that convert light into the electrical signals, enabling vision. There are two main types: rods, which function is low light and are responsible for black and white visions, and cones, which operates in brighter light and enable color vision. Optic nerve and brain. These signals travels through the optic nerve to the brain where they are interpreted as image. The optic nerve act as a conduit carrying visual information from the retina to the brain. It transmits electrical signals generated by light, which are then interpreted by the brain's visual centers to create the images we perceive. This process is crucial for sight, and damage to the optic nerve can lead to vision impairment or blindness. Look at these key parts of the eye here. Cornea, the clear dome-shaped front part of the eye that helps focus light. Pupil, the opening in the iris that allows the light to enter the eye. Iris, the colored part of the eye that controls the size of the pupil. Lens, a clear structure that focuses light onto the retina. Retina, the light sensitive layer at the back of the eye that converts light into the electrical signals. Optic nerve, the nerve that carries visual information from the retina to the brain. Sight and vision. While often used in interchangeable, sight refers to specifically to the physical process of light entering the eye and being detected, while vision encompasses the entire process, including the brain's interpretation of the signals received from the eye. Blood supply to the eye. Look at here. The eye receives its blood supply from the branches of the ophthalmic artery, which is itself a branch of the internal carotid artery. These branches include the central retinal artery, which supplies the retina, and the ciliary arteries, which supply the choroid, iris, and ciliary bodies. So far, we discussed about eye and sight. That means sight of the eye we discussed. If you have done, please subscribe our YouTube channel.